Welcome to the SwimSwam podcast. I'm your host, Coleman Hodges. Joining us today, we've got two very special guests. They are our first two verbal public commitments of the class of 2024. We are sitting down with Hadley King and Campbell Payton, both who coincidentally committed to Army West Point. Excited to just pick your brains a little bit. I think it's a big deal. The first two commits of this newly junior class now. So Hadley, I'm going to start with you for a couple questions. Can you just take us through the recruiting process for you, or what you had of the recruiting process, and when you actually started looking at schools, when you started talking to coaches, and if you did at all, when you started going on visits to schools as well?
Okay, so before June 15th even came about, I had a couple of backup schools in mind. Like Army was at the top, but I had a couple like backups. And then the morning of June 15th, their assistant coach, Kelly Lennon, reached out to me wanting to set up a phone call. So I obviously said yes because I was very interested in the school. And from there, it was like phone call after phone call after phone call. And I just didn't bother talking to any other schools because I had like my main focus was on Army and I was really interested. And then she, a couple weeks ago, was like, hey, would you be free to come up for an official visit? And I was like, yes, please. And then I committed there and I didn't ever talk to any other schools. I didn't go on any other visits. It was like Army from the beginning and then it finished off. So it's pretty easy, actually. It was really exciting.
Why was Army already on your radar even before June 15th when you started talking to them?
Army was on my radar from the beginning because from the military side of it, I come from a really big law enforcement and military family. I've been surrounded by it my entire life. So it was always kind of an interest to me to serve my country. And then when I was a lot younger, when I was like 13, my coach at the time, Mike Travers, he actually used to coach at West Point. And he used to tell me like, Hadley, I feel like you'd be a really good fit at West Point. And then so it was always at like kind of the back of my mind. So once we started getting closer to that, when I started getting closer to that age, I was like, you know what, let me look into this a little bit more on my own. And so I did my own research and I was like, oh yeah, like this is definitely something I'm interested in. I'm interested in swimming for them. Academically, I want to go there. I want to serve my country afterwards. So it's pretty much a win-win from the beginning. I was just really excited. It's a good fit for me, honestly.
Yeah, I mean that getting that perspective seems like a good fit. Seems like it kind of checks all the boxes for you. So Campbell, same question. Can you just take us through your recruiting process?
Yeah, so I actually have a very similar story to Hadley's. I also did not really reach out to any other coaches from the beginning. West Point, I was looking on SwimCloud, going through all of the different colleges on the first day that we were able to start looking at them. And I favorited Army on my SwimCloud account, and I had seen that they were interested in me. And the coach had sent out a general email about what their team was about and saying like, if you're interested in this, like please fill out this survey. And so I went ahead and did that. And I reached out to the head coach, Brant, and it was a back and forth kind of email thing. And he emailed me and he was like, hey, I'm so happy to hear that you're interested in West Point. And he gave me Coach Kelly's info, and it was amazing to get to talk to her. And we had set up a bunch of different calls. And from there, I got offered the official visit at the end. And me and Hadley happened to be on the same visit. And so we got a chance to meet each other, which was awesome. And I got to see all of the different things that West Point had to offer at that visit, which also just like made me want to be there even more. And I think that West Point, like once they reached out to me, I didn't decide to reach out to any other coaches from there on out. I knew that that was the place that I wanted to be if it ended up working out, and it thankfully did. So that was my recruiting process.
Yeah. Similarly to Hadley, what's your background like in terms of family, and why were you attracted to Army kind of right off the bat, even before you started the recruiting process, or did that start kind of once you were already in recruiting?
Yes, sir. So I started looking into Army and just the school in general before the recruiting process. I just wanted kind of a background knowledge. And I did that throughout, like looking through the schools. And I did that for every school that I had been interested in, just to see what they had to offer and everything. And I don't personally come from a military background. My grandpa served in the military, but other than that, I don't. I had a family friend that played soccer at West Point, and his daughters are my best friends. And so I got a chance to like grow up hearing about his stories from West Point, and that really started to spark my interest in being in the military. And when I was younger, I saw a movie about like being in the military, and I thought it was super cool, and it kind of died off for a little bit. And then once I started to have to think about schooling and everything, I was like, oh, there's West Point. Like I kind of forgot about it. And I had always been interested in serving my country. I thought about doing ROTC, and I decided that that wasn't really going to be an option for me if I wanted to swim and be an athlete, swim and be a student athlete. It would just be a little bit much for me. So West Point was a really good option because I get to serve my country, and that's something that I'm really passionate about. And I get to be an athlete at a D1 level, and I also get to have a prestige academic program. So that was awesome for me.
I appreciate you both giving that insight and giving, just letting us into your minds of how you made this decision. Again, Hadley, we can start with you, but how does it feel kind of knowing that this decision's already done? You don't have to worry about recruiting. I mean, I'm sure a lot of your fellow teammates or classmates are going through this and will be going through this for the next 2 years, but you guys kind of have this decision off your plate now.
Yes, sir. So I'm very excited that not that I made the decision too early. I'm really confident in the decision I made, but I am very happy that it's over. I don't have to look at any other schools. I already know what's waiting for me on the other side, like a great coaching staff, a great team. And so now my goal for the next year and a half is to just train hard and be the best that I can be going in, just so I can get even better. And it just takes a lot of stress off my plate, especially because the admissions process is pretty lengthy. I can kind of get that started the minute January rolls around, which I'm pretty sure is when it opens admissions to start the application process. So I'm really glad it's kind of off my plate, and I have a really big move coming up, and the time difference is really big. So it's harder to contact coaches that way. So I'm just happy that, I already have a team and all that waiting for me. I'm really excited.
Yeah. And Cam, same question.
I can't say anything different than Hadley. I am so thrilled to have this off of my plate. Like, I get to go into this high season and even just club season getting to just swim and do what I love. And I think that that's super important because I know from personal experience, seeing older kids having to go through the recruiting process, it's very difficult and it's very hard on your mind, especially if you're having to decide between two different schools or having to like do a bunch of different calls on certain, like working it into your schedule is super difficult. And I think that that'll make it a whole ton easier for me to just focus on swimming, focus on getting better and getting to build relationships with like the people on my team. And yeah, it just makes me super excited for what is to come. And I have 2 years to just improve and get better for Army. I get to be a good swimmer on their team, hopefully, and it'll me and Hadley will be able to impact their team in a way that we're able to.
Yeah. Which makes total sense. And Hadley, I appreciate you shedding some light on that admissions process as well, because I was curious about that. Again, especially committing so far in advance. Like you said, you guys have some time to get that rolling and get it started as well. So what's the deal? You guys announced on the same day. Was this planned? Did you guys coordinate this at all, or was it just pure dumb luck?
It
Um,
was dumb luck for sure.
yeah, we were just talking with Coach Nigro, and I think that when we got there, we both knew we were like, whoa, this place is like literally insane, and it's amazing here. And then at the end of our visits, we didn't know each other like going into the visit, so that was also another thing. But we talked to the coach, and he offered us both the spot on the team, and yeah, it just ended up working out that way.
Hadley, anything to add to that?
No, I just think it's cool. Like we met each other the first day of the visit, and from the beginning, we were standing on deck. And we were like, "Oh yeah, like this is for us. We're gonna be here one day. You just wait." And
Yeah.
then on the last day of the visit, like probably an hour before we had to leave for the airport, we had meetings with the head coach Brant, and they offered me a spot on the team. I accepted it, and I kid you not, 30 minutes later, Cam came out of the office, who also verbally committed. So it was like this big like kind of like celebration on the pool deck. It was like, oh, the energy was really good. It was amazing. It was awesome.
All right. So then what made it obviously I don't think you guys announced that day, right? I mean, you posted on your Instagram later, but you both posted on the same day. What made that day the day where you're like, okay, this is the day I'll post, or I will announce my verbal commitment? What made that the right day for each of you?
It was the day my shirt came in the mail. I ordered it the minute I like committed, and it was basically just waiting until it came in so I could take my pictures as soon as possible. Cam posted them, and I posted them right after. It just worked out that way. It was pretty cool.
I think I had time to talk to my family, friends, and the people that like have been a part of this like journey with me, and I really wanted to like have a chance to tell them and then put it out on the internet. Yeah, I just decided to post, and that was the day after we got home from the airport, so it all worked out that way for me.
Nice. Well, yeah, again, congrats to you both. It's a big deal. Excited
Thank
that
you.
we got to sit down and chat with you. So I do want to hear a little bit about each of your, swimming backgrounds and where you're at right now. Again, Hadley, let's start with you. Can you tell me just about your swimming background, the club team you swim on, if you swim on a high school team? Yeah, tell me about your aquatic life.
So I started swimming early 2018, which I feel like is a lot later than some people start. So that's like kind of random. And then I swim for Splash Club out of Bartlesville, Oklahoma, which is a newer team I've been swimming for. I swam for Southwest Aquatics all summer, just because I was visiting family, friends, and all that. And then, so I just started this team, and they're great. I love the coach. I love the team. And then I actually don't swim for high school because I'm only at this high school for another like 2 weeks, and I'm moving overseas. So I'll have a new team over there waiting for me. I've already talked to the coach, and then that's pretty much it. My swimming history isn't that interesting. I just got into swimming randomly pretty late, and then I fell in love with it and I want to say make a career out of it. Like it's not a career, but it's something I enjoy doing, and it pays for my school now. So pretty exciting. I don't know.
Yeah. Where's the move to?
We're moving to Bangkok, Thailand in literally like 13 days, 14 days. So
That's a big one. Yeah. How are you feeling about that move, both just in terms of your life, but also again, in terms of schooling and swimming? I know you said you have a new team and a new coach set up, but have you gotten a chance to talk to them much?
yes, sir, I have. I've spoken to the coach via Zoom, and I reached out to a couple of the people that I'll be swimming with over there, and they seem great. They're really nice. And I'm really excited for the move. I'm just a little sad to leave behind some friends and coaches and family over here, but I think it's going to be a really nice change. I like experiencing new things, which is another reason I was interested in the Army. It gives you travel opportunities, but I love to travel. I've lived overseas before, so I was ready for a nice change. I'm very excited. So.
Well, I hope the move goes well. Sheesh.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's a big one. So Campbell, same question. Can you tell us a little bit about your aquatic background?
Yeah, so unlike Hadley, I've been swimming for 10 years. So I've been swimming since I was very little. I have been on multiple teams. When I was younger, I just started swimming like any other young kid would. At like 6 years old, I was swimming like maybe 4 days a week, an hour practice during the summertime. And I was doing that at Highlands, which is our community pool. And then I moved to a club team once I was about 8 years old. And once I moved to that club team, I was obsessed with swimming. I loved it so much. And I've been doing it ever since. We actually moved my summer going into my 8th grade year. So we moved to Gahanna. And so I was swimming for the YMCA for every year after I started my club team. And actually, I swam for my club team in Westerville for 2 years, and then I moved to the Gahanna YMCA, and I swam there for, I want to say, 4 or 5 years. And then I loved it there. We met our coach who has been with me for like 3 years now, and he has been awesome throughout the whole like swimming process, supporting us and just building up a great team atmosphere. His name is Jeff Riegler. And after like once COVID hit, our YMCA team was no longer. And after that, he decided to create his own team, and that's the team that I'm now swimming for, Hydro Aquatics. And I cannot get enough of it. I love the people there. And a lot of the people did swim for the YMCA, but we also have a lot of new people. And yeah, and then I also swim for my high school 2 years now. And I love that atmosphere as well. It's so different than club because just meets and everything they're a ton shorter, but those meets are so fun because they're fast and they're quick and everyone has energy and they're just ready to get up and swim and have fun and cheer each other on. So I definitely love high school swimming, and my club coach is also my high school coach. So that's really nice. I get to spend a lot of time with him, and building a relationship with him is very important to me. So that has been really nice for me.
Yeah. Well, again, thank you both for giving us that insight. It's always cool for me, at least, to hear about everyone's different swimming experience, because across the country, across the world, as we're about to see from Hadley, I mean, swimming is a small community, but it can differ so much from person to person. So again, thank you both for sharing your experience through just your swimming experience, your recruiting process experience. I do want to end with just one final question. Again, Hadley, we can start with you, but is there any advice or words of wisdom you would give someone going through the recruiting process now? So you've been through it, albeit for a shorter period, but just something that you might have wished someone else would have told you, or something you took away from this process.
Considering I wasn't in it very long, I don't know all the information there is about it, but I would say go with your gut. If you know that the school is right for you, go for it. I would say just, if you know, honestly. Some people were really confused when I committed so early, and I was like, look, it was right for me. Career-wise, it was right for me. Swimming-wise, it was right for me. So I would say know what you want in the future too, not just focus on the swimming aspect of it. Make sure you know what you're going to get out of it years down the road and all that stuff. So I'd say if you know, honestly.
Great advice. Listeners, take note. And again, Campbell, same question, just again, a shortened recruiting process, but what do you feel like you took away from this that you would share with someone else?
Yeah, I would say the exact same thing as Hadley. If you know, you know. And I strongly believe that if you go onto a campus, and even if you don't have the opportunity to go on a campus, if you're talking to coaches and you feel that connection between you and the coach, and they're talking highly of their team, and they're making an active effort to reach out to you, and they are asking you about how you're doing and congratulating you on your swims, and just really like trying to build a relationship with you, that's so important. And I also think that, like, don't stress about it. Like, it's literally like, yes, it's setting you up for your future, but there's literally no stress on it. Like, if you know, you know. And if you're looking at a school and you're like, this seems right, it'll feel right. And if you're looking at a school and you're just kind of skeptical about it, it's probably not right for you. So that's what I would say. That's what I would recommend for anyone else.
Yeah, again, thank you both for your wisdom and your insight. It's been really nice getting to know you and talk to you for a little bit. So again, Hadley and Campbell, thank you for your time.
Thank you so much for having us on.
You've been listening to the SwimSwam podcast. Stay tuned for new episodes every week. You can take SwimSwam podcast on the go by subscribing on your favorite podcast platform. Look for links in the description below, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos as well.